What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Hurt Business Podcast. As always, my name is Ferris Big Hurt Sharari, and I'm joined today by.
Leech.
Now, last time around, you were mute
Ain't shit
leech.
funny to that.
Nah.
Ain't shit funny to that.
Last time around, you were mute leech. This time, you're just leech. Nothing funny. What's going on, bro? You want to talk
There,
about
there,
something?
there ain't nothing funny about this card.
You talking about this UFC 302 that we had the pleasure of watching last night?
Pleasure?
You didn't enjoy it?
Man.
All right. Real
Why
quick,
didn't this...
real quick, for the listeners, thank you for clicking on the podcast. Josh and I greatly appreciate the support. Subscribe on YouTube, listen on Apple, Spotify, rate 5 stars, yada yada. Buy the teas, gabagoo. We'll talk about UFC 302 at the top, and then we'll talk about that 5v5 Queensberry versus Matchroom dehabilitation by Queensberry in the second half of this podcast. But yeah, Josh, 302. What were your Then you didn't enjoy the show?
The show was whack.
Nah.
The show didn't live up to any of the hype. Everybody was saying they were going to kill everybody, and dudes were just running around the cage all night.
Fair.
This was bad. This card was such a disappointment.
Damn.
Honestly, Islam really did save the show.
And
Islam
Poirier.
and Dustin.
Yeah.
Islam and Dustin definitely saved the card. The Strickland was a letdown. Overall, this card was just like, it wasn't bad, but it was so hyped, and we were so excited with these matchups, like, and then they just did not live up to the hype. So we can kind of get into it from the top. Islam retains his title against Dustin Poirier, which was a banger. This fight was incredible.
Yeah.
I thought that Dustin did much better than what he did against the last time he fought the Dagestani wrestler. And he performed well. He did the best he could under, the circumstances that he was dealing with a tough, opponent in Islam Makhachev. But Islam is he's just levels and levels and levels ahead of these guys, man. When one thing doesn't work, he has like 3 tricks under his sleeve. Like, the takedowns weren't working, the single legs weren't working. So what does he do when the single legs aren't working? He starts spinning Dustin around like a tornado to get these takedowns. Like,
yeah, that one was nasty, where he like whipped Dustin's leg and Dustin had
he spun him around.
That was crazy.
He had so many tactics for getting these takedowns. He would bait Dustin in with the single leg, put his head down so Dustin can try to punch him, and then sweep him that way. There was just so many ways, like, when the takedown defense was holding up for Dustin, which it typically does. And I feel like Islam knew that. But overall, 5 for 19 is like so rare to see in an Islam fight.
Yeah.
That was very surprising. I didn't think the Dustin takedown defense was going to hold up that much, but I was so impressed by. Honestly, I was impressed by. That was the most impressive thing, honestly, from Dustin that night.
Agreed. I agree with that part, and also like it felt like once he was in the middle of the octagon, if he didn't have his back against the cage, Islam could not take him down.
Yeah, it was almost impossible.
Yeah, like there was no, unless Islam had him back against the cage, hands locked. Dustin was always fighting out of it, and that part, I agree. That part was most impressive.
Yeah. Other than that, Dustin was doing, Dustin things on the feet, standing and banging with Islam in the middle. So no complaints there, but it was mostly, it's just Islam. You know what I mean? It's like Dustin didn't do anything wrong. That was a phenomenal Dustin Poirier performance, but Islam is just better than these guys, man. Like, his wrestling is so dangerous that it makes his stand up even better, because people are fearful of the double leg takedown. And a lot of times Dustin, and that was great too by Dustin, a lot of times he would, he'd throw a punch, or he'd dip in with the jab and then immediately duck. Like, he was always anticipating that takedown from Islam, which was great. That was great on his end. But Islam, like I said, like the takedowns aren't working, the single legs aren't working. He reinvents new ways to take people down,
Yeah,
and it's just like, what do you do at that point? Even
yeah,
Dustin was like, "What the fuck was I supposed to do there, bro?" Like the
yeah.
guy
That was
fucking spun me in a circle.
yeah, that was ultimately the beginning of the end right there.
Yeah, and
How
then
about Khabib's advice in between every corner was just take him down. Just take him down. What are you
yeah,
doing? Just take him down.
show him the hands, and take him down. Like
Yeah,
it's
it
that
was
simple.
no like there was zero technical advice. It was just take him
Imagine,
down. Double leg
yeah,
right.
imagine being that talented, that gifted as a fighter, that where he's just like, show him the hands, take him down. It's that easy.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it wasn't that easy for Islam to do it. But man, the submissions were just like unreal. Like literally got him down, spun him, and then immediately locked in that darce when that
Yeah.
arm was loose.
It's
Like
nasty.
like it
Yeah.
is like no other guy's really doing that. Like you know how difficult it is to lock in a submission like that. Like oh my god, like this kid was so impressive, man. I honestly don't know what's next for him. Like
Islam?
does he stay at 155? Does he move up? Like there's like these. I think he definitely has to give Arman Sakarian a chance. He probably has to give Justin Gaethje a chance again. Um, But other than that, man, it's like there's not much left for him at 155. I feel like,
Yeah.
but is he gonna be too small for 170? Like
Yeah,
that's where I'm a little worried. Like I don't know if he can keep up with like a Leon Edwards pace or like you know the Colby Covingtons. I feel like he'd have some issues with those guys who have like a higher pace. Because Dustin was working him. Like Dustin was really working him, and Islam had to adjust and like I said, reinvent new ways to slow that pace down at Dustin Poirier. And I feel like he
yeah.
did a phenomenal job at it. But like bigger guys who were doing that, I don't know how that'll really play out for Islam. But I
Yeah.
love the idea of him moving up to
Yeah,
test the waters.
conceptually, I do too. Like he's so damn talented. Khabib never did it, so why not Islam run it up? But like we know what's about to happen right now at 170, right? Bully B's about to capture the title.
I think they should cut that fight. Let Islam come in.
All right,
Put Bully on the back burner
all
and then just have
right,
him fight Leon.
all right, all right. Trolling Joshy today, huh?
Nah,
Nah,
but
I
great
hate that
performance
we're
by Islam.
I hate that we're entertaining, and I hate that Islam went out there on his post fight speech and called for that title fight and talked about how it's a dream of his, which I'm sure it is. But like, your boy's about to compete for it. Right? It's a little bit crazy, no?
Not
You don't.
really. I mean,
I understand it's like, but what if Bully ends up winning? Like that guy trains like I don't know. I don't know. It's a little greasy. I thought like that's not the play. Arman is the clear number one guy. And like we've given Arman this reputation over the years of Islam's biggest test, his toughest test in the UFC thus far. And since Islam's been tested so many times, right? But yeah, he has that reputation. I think what's next for Islam gotta be Arman. Like that's a huge fight, no? Like and stylistically, Arman can compete with Islam in these wrestling exchanges that nobody else has been able to really give Islam much of a threat once he gets a hold of you in his past like 7 fights.
yeah. I think it's a little bit. Yeah, I think on the wrestling side, he definitely gives him a competition. In the stand up, Islam is just way better than Arman, and I think people are starting to notice that. Like Islam's stand up is insane. Like he's a
Yeah,
very good boxer, and
yeah,
so people are starting to second
yeah,
guess. Maybe Arman may Arman may have a problem with Islam on the feet, and it's hard to keep Islam down, man. Like Arman was able to take him down for the first time in his career, but other than that, is he gonna keep him down for 25 minutes?
probably
Like,
not. Probably not. And Arman's not the best striker in the world.
yeah, but he is clearly the number one contender for
Agreed.
sure.
Agreed. And like the other side of the coin is what's next for DP. He like kind of retired, kind of didn't. We don't really know if he's done. He kind of just left us in a possibility out there in his post-fight speech. So, is there another fight out there that you would want DP in? Like he's been in so many bangers over the
Ah,
years.
I
He
mean,
just lost a world title fight. Like, does he reset and try to make another run for it?
I don't know, man. At his age, it's definitely, and not that he's slowing down at 35 years old, but these guys are only getting better and they're young. So it's hard for him to kind of keep up. And he has so many accolades. Yeah, he's never been a UFC champion, but he's done so much more. He's basically killed all of these hype trains. Like he's beaten Conor McGregor twice. He's achieved so much in the sport. So if he retires tomorrow, it's like whatever. But I don't know if he makes another title run, man, with Islam in the picture, dude. I just don't see it happening. It's like, does he do another training camp with wrestlers for 3 months in a row? Like, I don't know if he wants to do that. He likes to stand and bang and have these exciting fights. So it was an exciting fight, but at the end of the day, you still have to prepare for the wrestling with Islam. But it's like you need a lifetime of preparation for this, man. Like these guys are just way better wrestlers than all these other guys. So I think he calls it quits. I don't think we see another Dustin Poirier fight. If we do, I imagine it'll be like a money prize fight with like, I don't know. We might see another Conor McGregor. If Conor McGregor can get past Mike Chandler, I don't see no reason why they don't just fight again and they both call it a career. Conor's on the, he's fighting like twice. He's fighting like once every 2 years. So.
You seen that recent Conor clip in the club?
We don't have to talk about that.
Oh man, I love that clip so much, bro. That shit had me in tears, bro. Like tears. He was so in this, just in it, right? You watch the video, he's like pulling it. You know what I'm saying? He was so in it, and it's so fucking funny, man.
That's him like every other day, though. This guy,
but like
he's on another planet.
You would think 4 weeks out, 5 weeks out from his pay-per-view headlining fight, return fight. He's not doing those things, but in Conor fashion, he's still getting down. It's the motherfucking deal, double G.
Conor McGregor.
All right. Well, yeah. Congrats to Islam and New, possibly going up in weight. He definitely defended his pound for pound number one slot. I said and New.
Yeah,
my fault. And still
and
again,
motherfucking still again.
Yeah. Add another ruby to the strap. If it is the end of the road for Dustin Poirier, congrats on a fucking career, man. All the DP classics. Do you have a favorite DP fight?
I don't know, man. Probably his fight with Max Holloway is one of my favorites.
Oh, why?
I don't know. Just like seeing him in that frame, like I miss him when he was that small. It's, man, he was something else at that frame. But yeah, I'll say probably the Max Holloway one. That was probably my favorite.
Respect. Yeah, for me, it gotta be the Dan Hooker fight.
That was a good one too.
Beat the shit out of Dan Hooker, and that was like when Dan was on the rise. He talked mad shit. He was kind of the next hype train that we were anticipating, and then he fought DP, put a halt to all that. And it was so disappointing that fight was in the Apex, bro. Because imagine that was in front of like a packed 20,000 people venue. That shit would have been nuts, man. Would have been nuts. But yeah, congrats to DP if it is a career. Thank you for all the fun fights. And part of me is hoping it isn't the end of the road, because he is a little old. He's 35, but like that ain't crazy old. All right.
Yeah.
Moving on to the co-main event, 5 rounds snooze fest between Sean Strickland, Paulo Costa.
Man, this fight fucking sucked, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go right out and say this fight was so disappointing.
Yeah.
Such a boring fight. Leading up to this, both of these guys were like, yeah, we're gonna stand in the middle and bang. We're gonna kill each other. Paulo Costa was like, dude, I want to hurt him so bad. I want to kill him. Like all this crazy shit. And he was running the whole 25 minutes.
Yeah, talking about I can't wait to bleed for you guys. Not 1 ounce of blood was shed.
Not one bruise, not nothing, bro. Like this was so disappointing, man. That I was honestly looking forward to this fight more than the main event, just because of the nature of like both of these guys. Like Paulo Costa, who's just known for, his tenacity. Like Paulo Costa the first guy to ever walk down Yoel Romero and just look him in the eyes with no fear. That absolute maniac of a human being, and beat him, like ultimately beat him. Like that was honestly the start of, like, the hype of Paulo Costa. I feel like before that, he had some crazy knockouts and he was just kind of like this insane guy. He was in the Contender Series, earlier part of his UFC career, and then he walks through Yoel Romero like it's nothing. And he fights Izzy. He gets a couple more wins. He fights for a title. He fights Izzy, and then Izzy kind of put an end to all that. And I kind of like the commentary of this fight. Usually the commentary sucks, but I like what they were saying. A lot of good things this time, and I definitely do agree that Paulo Costa has not been the same since he fought Izzy. He hasn't been standing and banging with these guys. He hasn't had these, these exciting fights where he's, putting on these slugfests. We kind of got a glimpse of that with Marvin Vettori, so I won't really say that too much. But ever since then, like, Paulo's just kind of had a different approach in his fight. But I don't know. I thought this fight, after all those words he said, we haven't heard him talk like that in a while. So that's what really got me excited. I was like, this is awesome. Like, Sean Strickland, who's just coming off a absolute fucking robbery against Dricus.
Yeah.
And then, he's coming for blood. He's like, dude, I want to fucking beat this guy up. I'm mad. I should still be the champion, which rightfully he should be. And he's fighting Paulo Costa, who is on the same route. Paulo Costa has a chance here to retain glory again. And he just fucking sold it. He just fucking sold the crowd. He just ran away the whole time. And granted, Strickland did put a pace on him, but it's like he chose these weird moments to stand his ground where it didn't even make sense. It's like the fourth round, you're down 3, and now you decide you want to stand and bang with the guy. Like, did he just randomly get a second wind out of nowhere? Like, I don't really know what went on there, and I don't really know what his game plan here was. He abandoned. I'm kind of just going off and picking my thoughts here and there, what was going on in the fight. He abandoned the calf kicks so early. He had 3 really good calf kicks in the beginning, and he forced Sean Strickland to switch stances early in the fight. And then Sean's leg was just kind of compromised a little bit early, and he didn't return to that. Just stopped kicking the calf. He started going for the inside.
Yeah,
and I was just like, why would you do that? Like,
he kept throwing those leg kicks the entire fight, but Sean was checking them. Sean started to really defend them properly, and there was even a point, I think, in the 3rd or 4th, where Costa got checked, and it hurt him more than it hurt Sean. He started awkwardly walking backwards after getting checked. I mean, I feel like that was a huge part of his game plan, was to land those leg kicks and throw a lot of body work. But Sean Strickland, bro, that dude was walking him down the entire fucking fight. All 5 rounds, Sean was marching forward, throwing those teeps, almost like a Muay Thai style, like teeps straight, like sort of vibe.
Yeah. But the thing was, Costa still abandoned the outside leg kick. He went for the inside, which I don't know why he would do that when he wasn't even standing southpaw at the time. Anytime he switched back to orthodox, he should have been hitting that outside leg. But what did he do when Sean Strickland went back to orthodox? He shot for the inside leg, and he got him hurt because Sean Strickland was good at checking the inside leg kick better than the outside leg kick. And it was just such a good game plan at first. I was like, okay, he'd throw the teep, like you said, which was smart, but then Paulo Costa would catch the outside leg when he would put the teep back down. I just thought, that was just so genius. Like, he could have slowed him down so much early, and then he just abandoned his game plan. I don't know if it's he's got this weird adrenaline thing where he's in the moment and he just kind of does whatever. I don't know. It's really weird because he's such an intelligent fighter, but at the same time, he's just so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
You got the guy's leg compromised in the first round. Keep going after that. Keep on doing that. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just wasn't an intelligent game plan, I feel like, from Paulo Costa, and for him to hype the fight up like he did, and that was the delivery of it. Jesus. I know it's hard preparing for Sean Strickland. I understand that, but it's you took 3 rounds to start standing your ground and making this a fight. that doesn't really make sense, with 2 fights on the line, essentially. 2 more fights you could be fighting for UFC gold, and this is the performance you put on. I don't know. Honestly, don't know. That judge needs to get investigated too
Oh
for
yeah,
giving
that
that
was
round to Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa, honestly, didn't really win any rounds, to be honest.
yeah, I agree with
Like
that. And one of the judges' scorecards gave him 4 of the 5 rounds.
4 of the 5, that guy's got to go.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know who that guy was. I
yeah.
gotta watch. I gotta watch the post fight or the announcement again to see who that judge was. That guy needs to get investigated. That was
Yeah,
come
and there
on,
was a
bro. Are you
few
serious?
questionable decisions on that whole card. Like judging in Jersey just might be faulty. Should we go back to Jersey UFC? Probably not.
Jersey, nah. That was
Yeah, that was blasphemy. Blasphemy that somebody
yeah,
can be on the back like for 5 straight rounds
and
and
win.
win is it don't make any sense.
Yeah,
But like I ultimately question like is Strickland's style fun to watch? Is it appealing for viewers?
no, it's not. He's
Not
a
at
good
all.
fighter. He's a good fighter, but he's not like it's so funny because like he's definitely a company guy. He fought the number 7 guy. He's definitely a company guy, but then like he's also not exciting to watch for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
boring. The
you
fight
tell
was
me
boring.
you tell me one fun Strickland fight. I think his first round with Izzy was fun because he was actually touching Izzy, but then
Yeah,
it
yeah,
turned into a
yeah,
snooze fest
yeah.
after.
The guy,
His fight
yeah,
with Drakus wasn't that appealing for anybody.
he had his run in 2020. The COVID run was good. Like he had a good fight with Brendan Allen. He had a good fight with
Oh yeah, he finished
Jack
him.
Marshman. Like those fights were good. Those
El
like
Boo's fight was
Apex.
pretty good.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
had good fights. Like his fight with Uriah Hall was good. He
Mhm.
had a good run at that time, but it's like I don't know, man. These bigger name guys, it's just like not like exciting fights. I don't know why. Like I don't know if it's like he's like a little bit more timid and he's just trying to win the fight and not really making it exciting. I don't know, man. But then naturally, it is Strickland style, and a lot of
Yeah.
people don't take a lot of risks against Strickland too because of that pressure, man. Like that was another thing too. He put the pressure on Costa, and Costa was gone in the first round. Like his gas tank was gone, and then he just revived back in the 4th round, which is just like
Yeah.
so interesting to me.
Yeah,
But
you could definitely see his gas tank drain as the fight went on. And Sean, like from round 1 to
it was so
minute
fresh.
at minute 450 in round 5, like he was the same dude the whole entire fight. And that's credit to him. But for me, I don't find his style the most appealing. I don't love to see it. I was like you, super excited about this matchup just because like the amount at stake. Like I thought Costa was all around the better fighter, and we didn't do a pre-fight pod, but I was leaning towards Costa coming into it. And then Strickland just does what he does, man. Just stays in his face, keeps his range, and he's also like I know we talk about it all the time. He's so defensively sound behind all of it
Yeah.
that doesn't get enough credit. Like he just somehow stays behind his offense and never gets touched. And yeah, I like Costa was doing good with those low leg kicks. I'm like you, I was a little, like questioning why he abandoned it and also why he didn't like switch it up and go upstairs with anything. He was
Yeah,
just
he was just
throwing
going body leg.
body leg, and then he would throw like
No
some
head
spinny
hunting.
shit that was so
Yeah.
predictable. Like we seen you do that against Whitaker. Just throw a normal high kick, bro.
Oh, the wheelhouse kick.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
like just
was.
I feel like he just kept trying to set up that kick, and that ultimately was like the detriment.
Yeah,
'Cause he threw that 4 times or 5 times throughout the fight, didn't land a single one.
it was an odd game plan through and
Yeah.
through. It was an odd game plan. He abandoned a lot of things that were working for him, and then ultimately he just didn't show up
Mhm.
for the fight that he promised us.
Yeah,
So it is
there
what
was
it
no
is.
war.
Yeah, it is what it is. Sean Strickland, he's a good man for giving Costa a fight and giving us a fight that could have potentially been a lot better when he didn't have to. He definitely did not lose that fight against Dricus, in my opinion. I feel like a lot of fans would agree with that too. I feel like Sean is still kind of the champion right now in my eyes. So for him to have given Costa a chance, a dangerous, dangerous man, that could have been everything. Not much else to say there. It was it was pretty lackluster fight to say the least.
It feels like the DDP in Israel is going to be next. Maybe the headline that Perth card or something like that. That's probably next for the strap. Is Strickland?
Yeah.
Is Strickland the next up?
Yeah,
gotta be right.
Not even he doesn't even need to fight anybody else.
Yeah.
He 100% after giving Paulo Costa a chance like that, just sit back and relax. Let Izzy and Dricus fight it out, and then he'll get that title shot again. 100%. I don't see why Dana wouldn't.
The real question becomes, what do you do if you're Paulo Costa?
Dude, honestly, this guy had a lottery ticket and he fumbled.
Oh man, come on.
Dude, he was number 7 and he fought the champion in a lot of people's eyes, the absolute next runner-up. And he just fumbled it like
the number 1 spot. The number 1 spot.
He literally ran away. He literally ran away from his opportunity.
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah,
so I don't know what Paulo Costa does. We'll talk about that another day when that time comes.
Yeah. Outside of
juice ain't working, man.
Yeah, that secret juice did not come through this time. Outside of those two, I feel like the card was kind of meh.
It was mid.
Right?
Honestly, these next 2 fights were probably the last good set of fights, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And those lasted all of 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Kevin Holland got a really, really nice armbar.
Yeah.
Snapped the arm. Intelligent performance by him.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a sec, because he got caught with a big shot and then was on his back, and then Michael was trying to land ground and pound and then overexerted a little too much, I think. Got his arm stuck. And props to Kevin Holland, who I'm pretty sure is a black belt in BJJ, under Trevor Luter, that guy. But also questionable move by Mike to like dispute with the ref, like, why are you stopping the fight? Meanwhile, like his arm is
limp,
bent in the opposite direction 370 degrees. Like, I just thought, it's like, why question it? You have one arm. Like, you should probably be thanking the ref. You know what I'm saying? And even Holland at one point looked at the ref like, get a break.
I'm
gonna break it. He's not tapping. Done.
Snap that shit in half.
Yeah, that was a cool.
Yeah, I don't know what that guy was thinking. I don't know what he was thinking trying to protest that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling for him because he definitely caught Holland a few times on the feet, dropped him even, and like, yeah, it was just an unfortunate 90 seconds for him, or ending to a great sequence. But yeah, outside of that, what do you think about Rude Boy, your boy?
Oh yeah, that was a fucking clinical masterclass.
Yeah.
That was such a good fight. I've been liking him a lot lately. He's had some ups and downs, but it feels like he's kind of fitting into, this weight class, and I feel like he's really starting to understand, how to fight these guys, and he's becoming a problem, man. I thought he was excellent, man. Those knees were crazy. He had 2 insane flying knees.
Yeah.
He put on a performance, man, against a tough Brazilian guy. This guy had insane power. He's put people out cold.
Yeah.
Randy Brown, he hasn't been known to have the best, chin, when he gets caught, and he did get dropped once in this fight, but he stood his ground, man. He really used his frame to an advantage, which I thought was great. Randy's got insane cardio, bro. Like, honestly, I need to see him in a 5-round fight, because these 3-rounders, bro, he's just so fresh after all of them. I really want to see him in a 5-rounder, but it's you got to earn your way to those 5-round fights. And I love the call out too with Jeff New at the end. I think that's going to be a banger. If that fight ends up happening, I know Jeff doesn't have a fight. Insane call out. That fight would be perfect.
Yeah, I agree.
And then give him a name.
Yeah.
Give him a name that he deserves.
Yeah. I mean, he's been in the top 15. I think he fought a guy who wasn't ranked this time around. He defended his spot. It's only right you let him move up and fight a guy
Jeff's 11. Yeah.
And what think about that fight from a style? Like you have the lengthy striker, and then you have
Yeah.
Jeff Neal, who's the inside power puncher. You just don't let him get inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun
To
ass
think
fight,
how
bro.
Yeah, welterweights are so stacked, man.
Yeah.
To think Jeff Neal is the 11th is crazy. Like
Yeah.
Jeff is easily top 10. Like he's just shy of top 10, but Jeff is no slouch, man. He's such a good guy.
Mm.
This division's insane. I can't wait to see where Randy fits in this. Which I think he'll give a lot of these guys problems. So he's getting better and he's improved this fight. Definitely has to work on the defense a lot more. I feel like he was just giving the shorter guy too many opportunities to capitalize. He's too long for all that, man. Don't when he lunges in, take one step back and that guy's not touching you. Every time that guy's not connecting if he just takes one step back. He's so long, bro. His reach is too long. I feel like once he really starts utilizing it, kind of like how Izzy does, like these guys aren't going to reach him.
Yeah.
He's too tall.
Yeah. Did you appreciate his post-fight speech where he started doing
absolutely
all the patois and shit?
Yeah,
I was like, oh shit, Randy. We never seen that side of him. He's never, came out and just started speaking.
He always does that. He
Does
always
he?
does
I
the,
feel like
yeah,
I haven't.
he always
I
does
don't
the
remember him
patois at
doing
the
it.
end.
I love it, man.
He's
I love that
always
he did
doing
that.
the patois at the end.
Also, his merch lately. Have you seen his merch?
Nope, don't care. All right, let's move on.
Our business merch. Go get that shit. All right. Anyways,
shout out to Randy. I mean, there's nothing more to talk about this card, man. The rest of it was terrible. We had some Brazilian girl twerking at the end of her victory. Turns out she has an OnlyFans in her bio. There's just not much to talk about here, man. Unless you want to talk about whatever there is.
Last thing
to talk about.
Last thing. I enjoyed that Bassil have it. Hafez and Mickey Gal fight. I did enjoy that one. It was the main event of the early prelims. Went 3-round decision. Pretty good back and forth war. Mickey Gal is a jiu-jitsu guy. Didn't utilize any jiu-jitsu. Instead, he just got pieced up by Bassil for 3 rounds. Except for that 3rd round, he kind of caught him a couple times, dropping him. That was a good one in my eyes. I think it won performance of the night, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was it for UFC 302. From Newark.
Let's get into this 5v5. Let's get into this 5v5.
Damn, G.
I feel like this is the 5v5 stole the weekend, man.
You think so?
UFC didn't even exist yesterday after this 5v5, man. I was so pumped start to finish. These fights were so good, man. We had a fight of the year contender on this too with Nick Ball versus Raymond Ford. That fight was just let's get into it. Let's get into it, man. We'll start from Deontay Wilder, I guess, and for Zhang, man, what a disappointment from the Bronze Bomber, man. Another guy, man, on his Paulo Costa thing, man, hyping it up, saying he's going to do this and that. And he just got, I mean, where was he? Where was Wilder yesterday? Nowhere to be found. He lost every single round. Zhang was not letting go of him. The power was too much. Wilder sucks, man. I'm sorry. He can't defend. Wilder sucks, dude. I've been saying this for years. He's just he's just got the puncher's chance, man. He wasn't moving around the ring well. He can't jab. He can't defend himself. His chin is just actual styrofoam. Like Wilder's just like what can he do besides knock people out with that right hand? What else can he do? He can't do anything in the ring.
It's a good point, man. It is a good point. And then this
5 rounds is all you got?
This one hurts to talk about. This one hurts a little to talk about. That's what Deontay Wilder this past decade has been so good for American boxing, right? And unfortunately, the past 2 years have not been ideal for him. He came into this one 70 pounds lighter, 70.
What was he thinking?
What the fuck are you thinking? That's like
he was 215.
And Zhang is like 280, bro. Like he is not small at all. And for me, once I seen that, I was definitely nervous. And I feel like Wilder was a little bit trigger shy. I don't know what the game plan was. There was no setup to that right hand. It was almost just like wait back and try to find the shot. And the finishing sequence was so scary, man. Because in his brain, it felt like he hurt Zhang. Like he landed a shot, but then Zhang countered the shot, and then he was looking in the opposite direction, trying to talk to the ref. Like it was such a horrible view. Like from a view, it was so bad. It almost looked like he went timeout, 1 sec, timeout, 1 sec, and then gone. Yeah, it was not a good look. It was a clean outing by Zhang, bro. He looked like a real finisher. A real finisher. Like caught him clean with the counter and then sniped him with that last shot. Wilder was not getting back up, man.
That's the thing, though. It's like once these guys get past the right hand, if they don't get hit by it, Wilder's easy work for these guys. Like if Wilder's not landing that bomb of right hand that he has, which hasn't really been a bomb lately,
that's it.
Which that's a conversation we need to have, because he wasn't hurting Joseph Parker. He didn't hurt Zhang at all. So I don't know. We might have to talk about his right hand being a little questionable, but
oh man, that's not a conversation that needs to be had. I was on Twitter this week, and there's like an 8-minute montage of him killing people in the ring. There's like 8 minutes of this, bro. Where like he just lands one shot and that's it. You know what I'm saying? And that was, of course, during his legendary rise in the sport, right? Like,
and now he's 40 years old, and
I think he's like 36, 37. It sucks because like you love people for so long and they turn in like they don't know when to get out. And then
are you saying Wilder needs to get out?
I think so, bro. I think it's time to hang it out, bro.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Thank you.
Yeah. I don't want to like, yeah.
But like after that performance, is it not clear that he really can't compete with some of these guys who are just a little bit more technical, you know, have just a little bit more weapons than, you know, the average eye? Like, I feel like in this day and age, you don't need much to beat Wilder. Like, if you can get out of the way of that right hand, you can basically have your way with him. And Joseph Parker was kind of the start of that, I feel like. I won't really say Tyson Fury because Tyson Fury is just another level. But Joseph Parker, honestly, was like the start of that for me. I was like, dude, this guy is... I don't know, man. Like, Joseph Parker's not like an S-tier fighter. I don't think like he'll beat Usyk or Joshua or Fury or Tyson. But, you know, he'll beat all these other guys that are contenders for those three guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if like Wilder can't even beat him, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, that's a guy you need to beat, Wilder.
That's right.
Zhang is a guy you need to beat.
Yeah. 41 years old.
That dude is 41.
Yeah. Yeah. But that Chinese power, bro. That Chinese power, bro. You don't and
he's strong.
I've kind of been high on Zhang for the past few years. I've been wanting him to make a push in this heavyweight division, and now he kind of has. So I'm so happy to see. It sucks that it got to be at the cost of my boy Wilder. It really does suck.
Yeah,
it really does.
I know you would have loved it to be Anthony Joshua rather than Wilder. I know you would have.
Yeah,
but that's just not the case, man. You know, Wilder's
it's not. It's not. At this very moment of where we stand in the heavyweight, AJ sits at a very good spot. AJ sits relatively high outside the champions. You know what I'm saying?
He's very comfortable right now. Usyk just won. Tyson's getting the rematch. If Tyson beats Usyk, Joshua's like, oh my God, bro.
Yeah.
He's in heaven.
But now
I'm getting a free ride. Yeah, but he's like, I'm getting a free ride to Tyson after that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but
he's getting a free choo-choo. He's getting on the fucking Tyson Express, bro.
You think that's the fight he wants?
He doesn't have to fight. Yeah, I don't think he wants. I don't think he wants to fight Usyk right now, just because, like, if he has the opportunity, to just go straight to Tyson, like, with all the belts, why would you not take that? Well, like, why would you not wish for that route? Like, that's his best case is fighting Tyson Fury. And I think he could beat Tyson Fury. Honestly, if Usyk's hurting him, oh my God, Joshua would kill him. If he could reach him.
Yeah, I know you're hoping for that. But there's a guy named Usyk that's not giving up those heavyweight.
I know Usyk is the champion right now.
That's the guy. That's the guy.
Although he's not the undisputed champion
Not no more.
anymore.
Not no more. And that's because Daniel Dubois came out on Saturday and claimed that IBF strap against Philip
And what a fight by him.
Hergovich. What a fight,
And
bro.
what a fucking
Yeah.
fight by Daniel Dubois, man.
Yeah.
Put on everybody put on a clinic. Everybody that won put on a clinic.
It's crazy, bro.
All these fights were good.
Queensberry went 5-0.
But yeah, they
Eddie Hearn is on his way back to the UK punching himself. You know what I'm saying? He is sick. And somebody on Twitter, you ever seen that soccer coach who went into the locker room and just started smacking all his
you
players?
said smacking all the guys.
Somebody was like, that's Deontay that's Eddie going back to that Matchroom locker room, just smacking the shit out of all his guys. That's brutal stiff. But Queensberry, bro, Frank Warren, man, that dude. And anticipating this 5v5, I was like, I hope Eddie sweeps this motherfucker, man. Fuck Queensberry.
I don't know. Honestly, I thought maybe. I was hoping for a 4v1. I honestly was so shocked by all this. Like Daniel Dubois, maybe I was on the fence of, but Nick Ball, I definitely had winning going into this.
Good. That fight was so fucking.
That honestly might be. I don't know, man. This might be one of my favorite fights this year, man. This fight was so fucking good.
Do you want to jump to that one?
And we can. And
we skipped.
Honestly, I know it's fine, but honestly, dude, Nick Ball, man, he had a great fight earlier this year against Ray Vargas, which was an absolute fucking robbery, probably the biggest robbery boxing this year. Which ended in a fucking draw. Like, dropped him once in the 8th, and then the 11th. Put on an absolute clinic against this guy, and then the judges were like, "We have something else in mind. We're gonna call this a draw, so Nick can fight Ray Ford, and then we can get the second fight with Ray Vargas." If it wasn't so obvious, I don't want to be the guy that says it, but if it wasn't so obvious, they were setting this fight up for a second fight. Hey, call me crazy. But Nick Ball, man.
What a fight. Did you have Nick Ball coming into it?
I had Nick Ball coming into this. Honestly, I like Raymond Ford. I don't know, man. After seeing Nick in that fight against Vargas, I was like, you know what? I'm taking Nick because of one reason only. Raymond Ford has no killer instinct.
You don't think
he is a surgical fighter. He's very accurate, very good power, but Nick is relentless. And honestly, there was like 4 or 5 times in this fight he could have beat the brakes off of Nick, and he just didn't do it. There was no killer instinct. He had him hurt so many times in this fight. And I was like, put the pace on him.
Yeah.
But Nick was, he's a tough, sturdy kid. Really short, stocky guy. So, he's got some good legs under him, but yeah, that pressure is unreal, man. Raymond has not experienced any pressure like that in his career. And I know he definitely didn't prepare for any fighter like that. He's definitely going to prepare in his next camp for a fighter with that much pressure on him. Honestly, this was so reminiscent. This is what the Paulo Costa and Strickland fight should have been. It should have just been a stand and bang like this for 5 rounds.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's crazy because
incredible performance.
Agreed. 100%. Leading up to it, like the Costa and Strickland, these two were talking shit, saying that they were going to kill each other, and it was going to be a barn burner and a firefight, and it was all of that. It was all of that. Coming
That's
into
12th round, bro.
Yeah, it was nuts. Coming into it, I had Raymond Ford. I'm gonna be honest, I was leaning towards Matchroom heavy on this card, and this was one that I was like, yeah, Raymond's that guy. He's pretty swifty. He moves well, defensively sound, southpaw. He's tricky to find out, but yeah, Nick Ball, he had a great last fight, so I was kind of like, all right, this is not no slouch of a matchup. But like, what impressed me most was the combinations by Nicky Ball. Once he was unloading, bro, he would throw like 6 punches, and there was like nothing Ray can do other than just like sit and absorb them. Yeah. And to that point, I was texting a few people like, why isn't Ray moving his feet? Why is this dude just standing there? He's just getting hit. He's like defending himself, but he's not moving. And he was a stationary target for most of that fight. And that could be because all that talk leading up to it was it's going to be a fucking banger. It's going to be a barn burner. It's going to be a war. I'm going to stand there. And I think
Yeah.
that's what resulted in Ray losing. Like, that's not your
Yeah.
style, bro. You're a
Yeah.
surgical. What did you call him? A surgical what at the beginning? You called him something surgical, but that's what he is.
Yeah, it
And
was just a surgical masterclass by him
yeah, that's the
in
type of
in all of his fights.
yeah, exactly. That's what you would expect him to do, but instead he was like, "Nah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
knock you out," and I think that's what resulted in him losing his world title. But
Yeah.
props to Nicky Ball, bro. That fucking dude is
He's a beast,
he's
man.
like
And I'm
he's like the smaller Tank. I mean, Isaac Cruz.
yeah, the
He's like
featherweight cruise.
yeah,
Honestly, yeah.
that's the style, man. I love that like pit bull just march forward. What?
To your
I'ma
point
fight you.
too, that like Raymond hasn't really had a fighter like fight him this way, really just kind of put the pressure on him. So I don't know. I feel like he just had to stand his ground because he was coming forward. Like even if he was moving backwards, which he's not really that good of a fighter moving backwards, I feel like he's just a lot better when he's putting the pressure on a lot of guys. He couldn't put that kind of pace on him. So I feel like he just had to stand his ground. And yeah, he was getting hit a lot. But it's just like that was his best course of action, and he made it a very close fight too by doing that. So I was surprised by that. So to see him be a stationary fighter, he wasn't horrible, but he was just kind of like, "Fuck, what do I do, bro?" Like I
That's
never
not
fought a
his
guy like
game.
this.
Yeah, that's
It's
not
not
his
his
game.
game, yeah. So it's hard to judge it on that, right? It's like now, and this is why you get the experience, right? This is why you fight. This is why you fight different guys. A lot of
Mhm.
these guys, they just fight the same fucking people over and over and over and over and over again. They don't really challenge themselves. And congrats to Raymond Ford, for taking a fight like this, for a guy he's never been exposed to, and he's 25 years old. He's got a very very young professional career right now, so he's pretty early in as far as experience with fighting different level guys, but this was definitely like a humbling, experience, I feel like, for him. And he's going to come back way better after this fight, like way, 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 way better. Um, and that's all thanks to Nick Ball, man. But, this was Nick Ball's fight and he won. I want to see this Ray Vargas fight again. I
Mm.
think he's going to starch him again. And the judges better not have a fucking thing to say about it this time. I don't even think Nick is gonna leave this to the judges this time. I think he's gonna definitely try to KO him, which he was trying to do in that first fight. But I definitely think he'll knock this guy out in the second fight. And Vargas hasn't fought since. That was a fight 3 months ago. Obviously, it was a little short notice, but Nick's ready. He's like, dude, I want my shit back, man. I
Yeah.
want that WBC right now. I deserve it, which he deserves it. That was a disgusting fucking display of judging. Nick Ball and everybody in boxing that day was like, what the actual fuck? Like, this guy, this guy under no circumstances should have gone a draw for that performance. That was an absolute clinic by Nick
Mm.
Ball. And he did it again, man. He
Yeah.
made it look very easy, and I know it was hard.
Amen. Amen. I'm sure it was. And now he went on to grab another world title so that Ray Vargas fight can now
Oh
be
yeah,
unification fight, which is way more
and I
enticing
think
for a Ray Vargas.
yeah,
Like, more
100%. And I
titles,
think
bring it
and I
on.
think boxing was trying to I think these fucking guys were trying to do that shit, man,
Yeah.
in the first place. Like, come on,
Yeah.
dude. There's
Yeah, that's the
we
worst
we,
part
ta-
of
we
it.
talk about it. We talk about it all the time, man. Like how bad judging is, but like that was like I don't know, man. Judging like that just really makes me think like if there's like some I don't know, man. I don't want to get too much into the conspiracy theories, but judging like that was just like disgusting, man. Like there's no circumstances where that was a split draw, bro.
Yeah, or it should be a split draw, which now that I'm thinking about it, I'm glad all these fights are taking place in Riyadh. It doesn't feel like their scoring system has been unfair or
It's
anything
been
like that.
very accurate.
It's been pretty on the button. So I appreciate that. Hopefully more of these bigger fights are held there. That way we can eliminate some of these like political decisions.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm
Because
saying?
it just seems like all these different judges have like a different way of scoring fights, and there's not like a set, you know. Like I know there's rules to judging a fight, but it seems like kind of these judges have like their own like personal opinion on how they want to judge fights, which I think is bullshit. Um,
Yeah, it feels like
I
we
don't
have
think
this
there should be.
conversation all the time.
We
Like
do,
judging,
man.
yeah,
We
judging
do.
has been faulty. It's probably going to be faulty for the rest of time, unfortunately.
Yeah. There's always bias judging. Like it just is what it is. You just
Yeah,
hope that like the right guy wins in the end. Sometimes, even with the bad judging, like with that guy giving Paulo Costa
yeah, that was the
3
worst part
points
ever.
more than Strickland.
Like, what were you watching, bro?
The
Where
fuck was
were
that
you?
guy watching?
Yeah, yeah, but yeah,
But yeah,
congrats to Queensberry sweeping.
Hamza Shiraz versus Emma Williams,
Man,
man.
that dude got a finish.
Ammo was another guy who I thought would win this fight, and I
Hmm.
was wrong. I like the kid. He's got quick turnaround, kind of like Nick Ball. Very, very, very active fighter, man. Um, damn, I was not familiar with Hamza's game, man. This guy
Yeah,
is nasty, bro. He doesn't waste a punch. He's got insane power. He's very accurate. Super tall, lengthy guy. But I was looking at his resume. I was like, dude, this guy ain't fighting nobody. Like, yeah, he's knocking these guys out, but he ain't got like no resume.
yeah,
I
not
was
yet.
wrong.
He's
I was wrong. This guy
really who's he
is
fought?
so good. Nobody. Legit
Yeah,
nobody. He's fought a lot of Brits, some Russians. That's it. Like really nobody.
yeah.
Um, but this was definitely one of the bigger fights. He's good. He's good. Ammo
Agreed.
was
100%. Now undefeated. He took Emma Williams' undefeated record,
yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah,
Uh yeah, I'm now familiar with Hamza. We'll see where he goes from here. He's a world champion now, so hopefully he goes on to actually claim a world title, not a
yeah.
silver gold medal.
Well,
Yeah, man.
he was still the champ, so he just retained it. He was the
Fine.
WBC silver, which I don't even know what the fuck that belt is. WBC silver middleweight.
Yeah.
What even is that, bro?
Is that like below an interim?
I don't even. I was researching it. I found nothing about it. But he's had
Top,
this belt for like 3 years now.
yeah.
For what? Like,
It'll make no sense. But also the Willie Hitcherton got a decision victory, the first
yeah,
victory for Queensberry. Congrats to him.
yeah,
Young kid, I think he's like 25. I was not familiar
yeah.
with him, but now I am.
All these kids are like 25. Is
Yeah, yeah,
young card, man.
yeah. My biggest question with this 5v5 is why stick Bivol like in between? Why like just slide him in between some of these fights? Why not let the 5v5 be its own thing and then Bivol be its own
And
Bivol
then
fight?
Bivol, yeah.
Why like
That made no sense.
it was so strange, bro. And I don't think nobody's talking about it. Everybody was just like, "Oh, like yeah."
Honestly, I didn't even know Bivol was fighting this
M-
weekend.
Me
I did not
neither.
know.
I thought he was fighting on the 18th of June. I don't know why that date is sticking out in my head, but that's what
Yeah.
I was prepared to see. And he was supposed to fight Artur Beterbiev. We know that fight fell through because of an injury.
That's coming out later this year now,
But
October.
why? Like he could have fought
Yeah,
next
I
weekend, and it
know.
could have been his own show. Like Bivol is a superstar. He's like a top 5 pound for pound guy on a lot of people's rankings.
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
slide him in between this
yeah,
5v5, you
yeah.
know? Like
A guy that nobody's ever heard of, an undefeated guy, but like still a guy nobody has heard of. Like it seems like they just wanted to get this fight going to keep the hype up for Bivol. Get
yeah,
it so Bivol can get a surgical masterclass performance, which is
another
what it
highlight.
was, and to keep the hype going for Beterbiev because they were hyping this Beterbiev fight up, man, and then
Mm,
it just kind of died off a little bit. So I feel like they needed to get Dimitri Bivol in there with anybody. It didn't matter. So that's what this seemed like it was. Like this guy had no business being in there with
no
Bivol.
business, bro.
No fucking
Yeah.
business. Like
Yeah, and it was evident in the fight. I
it
think he
is what it
finished
is.
him in like the 4th round or something, 5th round, something like that.
Sixth round, yeah.
6th round.
It was quick and easy, man.
Yeah. And then he had all the belts. I'm like, this is the most hardware anybody has on this entire card.
Yeah.
And nobody knew this fight was happening.
Yeah.
Come on, boxing.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
bad. It was bad.
Congrats to Queensberry sweeping the night. I love the 5v5 concept. Hopefully they can roll this out a lot more. I love the rivalry, the Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren.
Yeah.
That's a fun one.
They gotta
Oscar
get more of this.
Oscar De La Hoya tweeted just laughing emojis uh, right after the card finished. And I was like, you fucking suck, bro. You should be the
You
last one
suck.
talking.
Yeah, you suck as a promoter. You suck as a coach.
You're a great fighter.
You sucked as a boxer. Floyd's
Yeah.
better than you.
Yeah, Floyd was better, but De La Hoya's boxing career was like the only thing good about.
Everything
Yeah,
else sucks.
the only thing. But yeah, congrats to Queensberry, Frank Warren. Congrats to all the winners, the new champions, the and still champions. And yeah, that wraps up this weekend in combat. Any announcements that we missed?
Oh my god!
What
Actually, now that you mention it, oh my goodness, this fight is going to be insane.
Which one?
This fight is going to be absolutely insane, man.
Well, I'm excited. Which one?
I think you know what they announced, man. Nasruddin. Did you hear what they announced, bro?
Who's he fighting?
Jared Cannonier, bro.
Okay.
You don't like it?
That fight needs to happen. Like Jared
Dude,
Cannonier got to fight somebody.
Crazy.
Why?
I
Why
think
do you think it's a banger?
Well, I think Nasruddin was like, I think he was supposed to have a fight with somebody else. I can't remember who it was. But they're fighting this weekend, which is I'm so pumped for this.
Okay, yeah. Maybe I did hear about that one. All right, so we'll be covering that in the next few days.
Yeah,
Fire.
I'm excited for this. This fight's gonna be a banger. They're main eventing too, so
yeah.
I'm pumped.
Apex card. Look out for that in the next coming days. Also, I have an interview with Ross Turbo Levine, 3-time karate combat champion, who just retired on last week's card. That interview's coming out in the next few days. Buy some HBP merch, hbpshop.com. Subscribe to the YouTube. Follow Josh and I on Instagram, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.
Peace out.